Based on looks alone, the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL is a car of significance. But this particular example was the first one delivered to a customer in the country, a customer who just so happened to be racing legend Briggs Cunningham, which means it also has some historical significance. That's why the car, which bears chassis number 19804045003, will be included in the National Historic Vehicle Association Register. According to Mercedes' own records, the car was the first 300 SL to be produced back in 1954 when production of the 300 SL commenced, though based on the chassis numbers it's actually car number 3. Cars 1 and 2 were produced after this one. The idea behind the 300 SL came from legendary New York vehicle importer Max Hoffman, who convinced the higher-ups at Mercedes that he could market a sports car based on one of the automaker's existing race cars, in this case the 1952 W194. Cunningham, already an influential American sportsman and businessman at the time, was a friend of Hoffman, and he was given the rights to the first of the 300 SL Gullwings. Thus, this also makes this particular 300 SL the first of its kind in the U.S. Cunningham later sold the car to William Fleming of Westport, Connecticut, who campaigned it in the 1956 SCCA season, finishing third in the national points for that year. After a few other events, Fleming sold it again. Mercedes-Benz's in-house tuner AMG was only established in 1967, but the company has built a handful of original 30 SLs in the past, including this 1954 Gullwing. As the story goes, Brunei's car Crazy Sultan asked AMG if it could take an original 300 SL Gullwing Coupe and 300 SL Roadster and fit them both with modern internals. As drastic as it sounds, there was apparently enough demand that 9 other examples were built. Other buyers are believed to be from the Brunei royal family. So between 1996 and 2009, AMG took 11 original 30 SLs, 8 coupes and 3 roadsters, and did a resto mod on them. They were then sold for a price of more than €1 million, $1.39 million at current exchange rates each. Now, one of the cars is up for sale. It's a 1954 example with chassis number 198,040. It will be going under the hammer at an RM Auctions event in Monaco in early May. The chassis and body are original, but most of the rest of the car is new. Instead of the original straight 6, it's powered by a 6.0-liter V8 rated at 380 horsepower and 427 pound-feet of torque. The 300 SL's original swing-arm rear suspension has also made way for a modern 5-link setup, and also added to the mix were Bilstein shocks and AMG light alloys. Power steering, disc brakes and a 4-speed automatic transmission have also been added. The interior is almost completely new and features a mixture of Nappa leather and Alcantara trim. As the shots reveal, the car also gets a WA steering wheel, a Sony CD changer and carbon fiber protective panels. Other subtle interior touches include a steering column lock for heightened security, as well as a complete set of original 300 SL instruments which were adapted to modern comfort and electronic operation. The car we're talking about is the disturbingly cute 300 SL Panamericana from Gullwing America. Now, we have a second custom Gullwing, but this time its lines are an exact copy of Mercedes' original style setter. Built in Germany by Gullwing GmbH, the same company responsible for a modern AC Cobra replica, as well as a partner for the previously mentioned Panamericana, the latest 300 SL replica is completely faithful to the original on the outside, but under the pretty sheet metal the car is thoroughly modern. Instead of the original's 215 horsepower, 160 kilowatts, 3.0 straight 6, Gullwing has decided to go with a Mercedes-Benz 5.5 LV8 with 405 horsepower, 302 kilowatts, on tap and matched to a 7-speed automatic transmission. Other modern touches include a custom chassis and suspension setup, performance disc brakes with ABS, air conditioning, and a retro-style Becker Mexico stereo with sat-nav. A unique 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing Coupe is scheduled to hit the auction block on April 1st at Meckham Auctions, Glendale, Arizona. Sale. Just 1,400 Gullwing Coupes were built between 1954 and 1957, but only one looked like this. It's the only Gullwing to leave the factory in Mittelgrün, German for medium green, paint, which is also repeated on the dashboard. According to the auction listing, the green Gullwing was completed April 30, 1955, and shipped to Mercedes-Benz distributors of New York. This was Mercedes' U.S. importer at the time and was owned by Max Hoffman, who was influential in bringing the 300 SL to this country in the first place as a less hardcore derivative of the early SL race cars. Gullwing doors originated with those race cars, which had a chassis design that didn't allow for conventional doors. The car was purchased by the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Foundation in January 1973 and received a body-off restoration sometime in the early 2000s, the listing says. Following the restoration, it was displayed periodically at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum from 2015 to 2020. While the interior was switched from gray leather to beige, the car retains its distinctive middle-ground paint color in the original 3.0-liter fuel-injected inline-six engine. It produces about 215 horsepower, which is sent to the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual transmission. This 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SL Gullwing Coupe has something special hidden beneath its silver paint. It's one of just 29 alloy Gullwing coupes built between 1955 and 56. And it was sold late last month at an RM Sotheby's auction in Phoenix, Arizona, for $6.825 million. Formerly known as the Light Metal Ferron, or light metal version, the alloy Gullwing replaced the standard car's steel bodywork with aluminum. All glass except the windshield was also replaced with plexiglass, for a total weight savings of 209 pounds. Though this particular example, bearing chassis number 5,500,332, had its windows replaced with regular glass at some point. Reducing the weight was intended to make the cars more competitive in racing, in combination with other performance upgrades. The 3.0-liter inline-six got a competition camshaft, higher compression ratio, new throttle butterfly valve, and a recalibrated fuel distributor, boosting output to 215 horsepower. Alloy Gullwings also had sportier suspension tuning, vented front brake drums, and the SL's signature Rudge wheels. Mercedes built the alloy Gullwing with privateer racers in mind, but a high premium over a standard 300 SL meant there were few takers. Just 24 cars were built in 1955, with an additional 5 cars in 1956.